Thank you, Norm, for such a generous introduction. Board of Trustees, faculty, family, friends, and especially the class of 2008, thank you for letting me be a part of your celebration this morning. It's not every day I get to address 139 future leaders, so I was absolutely elated when Norm first invited me to be the commencement speaker. But I was brought back down to earth with a thud when I told my daughter Safia, and her immediate response was, "Oh, that's nice, Mom, but why did he ask you?" Indeed, why me? It's intimidating to think about what I could possibly teach you. A class whose senior project spanned every subject from writing a constitution to building a brick pizza oven to hosting the Silver Report. Who can engineer houses that float and eggs that fly. Who won 7 league championships, study Latin and Mandarin, and know all the words to grease lightning. To be honest, I find it hard enough just keeping up with your vocabulary, since I come from a generation where MySpace meant the bottom bunk, Twitter was something canaries did, and if you had asked me to play with a Wii, I would have thought it sounded awfully unhygienic. But of course, for you, technology is second nature. You were born the year the web was invented. While for me, at your age, the World Wide Web would have seemed like science fiction. Still, I was fortunate to be born in a family that traveled the old-fashioned way. My parents raised my brothers and me in Pakistan, Belgium, and the Philippines, and the education I received was as varied as these 3 different cultures. In Pakistan and Belgium, I attended Catholic schools, where every time a teacher walked into the room, the entire class had to rise to our feet. In Manila, I went to an international school with American traditions and style, where the students were encouraged not only to answer our teachers' questions, but to also question their answers. By the time I was your age, I'd gotten to know people from dozens of different countries. I spoke 5 languages. I'd been raised in one religion, schooled in another, and exposed to many more. So the message I've decided to share with you today is one that I learned back then. It's that for all the diversity the world has to offer, we are all much more alike than we are different. And I know that may sound a little counterintuitive, since I've just said I lived in 3 different cultures. But I saw for myself when I was growing up that when it comes to how we laugh or love or cry, when it comes to our desire to make the most of our own lives, when it comes to the happiness parents wish for their children, it doesn't matter where you go in the world, you'll always feel at home. And that sense of similarity, that shared humanity, is what drives my philanthropic work. Because if we belong to one global family, then we are also bound to care for one another, which is what developments in literacy and One Nation are really all about. I think that reality is more important than ever in our age of interconnectedness, where borders have blurred, barriers have shrunk, and globalization has made us all neighbors. After all, many of you tour the world each day without even leaving your neighborhood. As you hop into your Audi or Toyota Prius, grab a burrito or a latte, crank up Rihanna or mellow out to Coldplay, check out what's new at Armani or Zara, answer a message sent from a BlackBerry on your Nokia, or cheer for athletes like Yao Ming and Sammy Sosa on your Samsung Plasma TV. You were born global citizens. Yet that has to mean more than just enjoying all the world has to offer. Being true global citizens must mean doing your part to make the world we share a better place. Because the modern age has also made us more aware of other people's struggles, from natural disasters to disease, to conflict, to poverty they cannot escape. And it has also brought into greater relief the divisiveness that persists, and the way our lack of understanding of other cultures often morphs into intolerance and fear. As a Muslim, I deal with this every day in ways both large and small. Whether it's seeing the way negative stereotypes of my faith are perpetuated by the media, or having a well-meaning person say, "Oh, but Sara, you don't look like a Muslim." Being true global citizens must mean building strong bridges across gaps of understanding like these. And I believe your generation has the power to make a world of difference. Why? Well, for one thing, you know how to use technology to connect across borders, to build coalitions through social networks, and amplify your voices through blogs. You find it easy to communicate and to share. You're comfortable with speed and with change. But you also know that making a friend face-to-face is different than meeting on Facebook. You know that lending a hand to someone in need is different than simply texting your sympathy. So keep using technology to leverage the impact you have towards positive change. But always remember, it's the you that counts. Computers are great, but human compassion is greater. And even though that wasn't an explicit course here at Menlo, I think it's one of the greatest lessons you've learned. I think of all the students who cheered and supported their buddies at Special Olympics, where more than 100 local athletes took part, and everyone went home a winner. I think of the students who traveled with Norm to night school in Botswana, volunteering in an orphanage for babies and children who had lost their entire families to AIDS. I think of the group that planned a rock concert last year to raise funds for a Dil school. I can tell you, for the residents of one remote village in Pakistan, you became the voice of America. And the message you sent was one of friendship, peace, respect, and hope. It's hard for me to believe it's been 8 years since I visited Menlo School for the first time. I remember being struck right away by the warmth, the white spaces, the welcoming feel. I remember learning about the school's commitment to make learning fun and the creative ways inspiring teachers brought academic excellence to life. I was sold from the start, and I knew as a mom that my children would be in good hands, surrounded by talented, dedicated men and women who would help them reach their fullest potential. But looking out at you now, 139 wonderful, bright young women and men, I know that even as Menlo has nurtured your unique gifts, it has given you something more. It has fostered your personal courage and commitment to stand for something larger than yourselves, to be engaged, responsible members of an ever wider community. Today you are leaving Menlo School, but don't ever let this school leave you. Congratulations, class of 2008. You've made us all very proud.